Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Firm Report. I am Pat Hilton, joined by Zach Hoffman. How's everybody doing today? Zach, how we doing today?
Doing excellent. How are you doing, Pat?
Can't complain at all. Beautiful Monday morning here in the great state of Texas. I know you're rocking out there in Florida with the squad.
Yep. Big day here back in South Florida. It's back to school Monday.
Yep.
For some. So that's a big day. How about in your town?
It is the first day of school today. We have a kindergartner and a second grader that went off this morning. It is quiet here in the studio, and we're ready to get to work as usual.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into it. I know you got some settlement wins that people need to hear, and so let's bounce right into it and crank.
Yeah, so we have, 5 topics that we're going to go through today. We have settlement wins spotlight from Instagram's legal leaderboard. We have influencer marketing, highlighting a specific firm and some of the action they're doing. Digital creator spotlight, so going out there, finding digital influencers in the legal space, bringing that news to you and what they're exactly doing. Then back to school, BTS, big opportunity, big topic in the community, way to really rock it out. And, we'll highlight a specific firm out there. And then the fifth topic, there's a new legal TV show coming on air, The Rainmaker. It's going to be on USA and Peacock, and I'm sure lawyers out there are going to love that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And we've noticed a couple other people moving to Peacock and streaming services because, as you've said, that's where the attention is at. And I 100% agree. That's a brilliant move by these folks.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, it's going to be a new TV show airing soon. We'll get into some details on that, as we move through the program here.
I love it. Keep it moving.
We have so to start it off, we have our Instagram leaders board. A number of firms out there posting, but leading it off, we have Morgan & Morgan attorney Stephen Jones with an $11 million settlement out of Arizona, essentially a workplace settlement. Then you have Apex Injury Lawyers out of San Francisco, $1.25 million settlement for a rear end collision. You have Auger & Auger with a $1.25 million motor vehicle accident settlement. Morgan & Morgan again with another $1.1 million auto accident settlement out of St. Louis. And then Mike Morse, 855 Mike wins. His attorney, Matt Bates, a $1 million accident settlement. Once again, key to really reinforce those wins at your firm. Make sure that when, essentially consumers are going to social media, that they see the wins highlighted on your feed and that, they can relate that you're going to win that, potential settlement for them as well.
Yeah, I think that consumer confidence is a really big thing with social media, is that you are building the trust and the confidence in anyone that sees your page. And I said this the other day on a video that even if people aren't looking for you, make yourself available so that someone that does see you can refer you to that person that is looking for you. Listen, I see this person all the time. They clearly know what they're doing, or I would not be consistently seeing this person. Maybe you should try them. Be that person by being so consistent that you are already earning trust in people's eyes. Even if they're not doing business with you, they're referring you.
For sure.
100%.
To move forward into our second topic, there's some influencer marketing going on, and who's at it again? Morgan & Morgan. Big time out there, really pulling through on some influencer endorsements. They have Boston Be a Man video as well. They paired up with an influencer network, Jubilee. So it's definitely worth checking out this various content. We'll highlight some of it on the feed here. But the Boston Be a Man video received over 100,000 visible engagements, which means the number of impressions that they garnered from that relationship had to have been just through the roof.
That's amazing. And it's just another example of being aware of how to communicate well with your potential audience too. These guys are masters of communication, and that's the whole game. You're either invisible or you're communicating, and it's one or the other these days in 2025. And folks, these platforms are free to use, so there's no excuse for why you're not available.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily free to get these endorsements that they have or, these paired up collabs.
Well, no.
And if you move forward into Jubilee Media, essentially this is a network that essentially targets millennials and Gen Z, really, they look at, breaking the rules, pushing boundaries, and, tackling taboos in the marketplace. So, pairing up with almost two different influencers from completely different ends of the spectrum really allows them to hit almost everybody out there in a lot of ways. The Jubilee video didn't get really as much lift as the Boston Be a Man video, but once again, it hits on a totally different market when you look at, these two specific influencers that they chose.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like just to use these platforms and make yourself available to be seen or noticed by people that you can collab with. If you're putting yourself out there every day and making yourself available, you have a way better chance than someone who's just coming in cold that wants to buy ad traffic. I think that the trust and the consistency is a big factor of why people are choosing brands, especially to collaborate with.
Oh, for sure. It's creating brand equity as well as, multi-channel dominance. And it's really getting them out there. So it's calculated cultural reach into various audiences and really creating a lot of energy, to really target that specific demographic from networks and, channels that they're already tuned into.
Yeah. I mean, connect with who's got the connections, and that social media system that has been created for us. Literally, people are at your fingertips. And so go out there and attract those eyeballs.
For sure.
I love it. What else we got, Zach?
So, we're going to go here into our digital creator spotlight. So we have Billy Tariscio, which is Modern Law out of Arizona. She's a family law firm, but she really stood out because she takes her social media audience, which has 13,000 plus Instagram followers, essentially 20,000 plus YouTube subscribers, over 130,000 plus people on TikTok, 500,000 on Facebook, and really, hits home in a lot of parks. Really hitting sensitive topics that, not many people are really comfortable, speaking about, making herself accessible, relatable to her audience. And the content is really, it looks very like homegrown, even though I know that there's probably layers to production as well. Just because she's filming it in a simple manner doesn't mean that there's not a lot of like post editing being done and essentially planning behind the scenes to really make her, as influential as she's become. And essentially it does feed back into her website, where you can see they're taking direct appointments and retainers on site. So it's got to be making a big impact. And they also have a huge team.
Yeah, all those things help. I mean, they're definitely doing the work. They're creating a culture around content and making that a part of the forefront of their messaging. I mean, content, as many experts have said, is everything. And a personal brand that you can establish and build trust with to send people into your offer is really, really big, because people do business with people.
Yeah, for sure. And, once again, the things that stood out are just how real the videos are. It is a very sensitive topic, so she is, really catering to the audience and making sure that she can relate. And it really looks like it's hitting a home run. So definitely get out there and check out her profile to really see how she's impacting her audiences.
Yeah, I dig that. That's awesome. Hey, good for her.
For sure, for sure.
What's up next, Zach?
Yeah. So, to move forward here, we definitely have, another topic in basically being in the community. So Mike Morris Law Firm hits it out of the park with a back to school drive. Essentially they made it a big event at their office to actually have the distribution, but leading up to it, they have numerous points for people to engage. So they have announcements that are leading to the ability to make the donations as well as to come for the distribution. And then they made an entire event out of the distribution of the school supplies. So really giving back to the community, making it known that you're there, having people come to the office to actually receive the product and service, and makes him look like a community hero, which he is a community hero. And it really drives it home and got him thousands of engagements through these various posts. So, I would say that's brand gold.
Yeah. Anytime you can generate engagement, especially on something positive that's about your brand, that's huge, because let's face the facts, getting niche views and niche viewership can be difficult, which is why a lot of people want to talk about broader topics, then bring it back in, which is smart. Both things work. But when you can really become a master of your niche and you can create virality, That's big.
Oh, for sure. And, looking at the time of the year, just back to school is huge. So, basically in every community, there's also various back to school dates in, various cities and counties as well. So as a firm, if you have multiple locations, you can be doing back to school drive at almost every single location. And these types of ideas will then lead into Halloween and then into the holiday season, Thanksgiving, and then the holidays, happy holidays as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all a cycle. And as
Exactly.
I get older, following marketing cycles and sales cycles, we're, like you said, getting towards the end of summer soon and into the holiday season. And a lot of people are going to be amping up their ads, Labor Day, the Thanksgiving stuff, all the way through December. It's booming. And then New Year's.
For sure. There's definitely, it used to be called Hallmark holidays, but there's a lot of holidays in general on the calendar to, be utilizing, so, you even hit on a number of those, including Labor Day itself.
Yep.
So, holidays coming up. Once you start to calendar those and build a template around it, essentially you'll have, a great way to get reach.
100%. And then there's all these latte days and donut days and all these other days that have been inserted into the calendar as well. So, hey, if that applies to your business, you're somebody that those things fit with, promote the heck out of it.
Oh yeah. And definitely it's topic, it's brand gold to leverage. Moving forward. So going into our, fifth topic here, we have the legal TV show that's going to be introducing itself. It's a John Grisham story, The Rainmaker. So his works in general have generated hundreds of millions in box office revenue and tons of licensing deals. He's sold over 300 million plus copies of his books, translated into numerous languages, and tons of bestsellers. So when John Grisham is out there creating content for, law firms, essentially, pay attention, because I'm sure it's going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah. And I mean, that guy's got a history of success as well. I mean,
for sure. Numerous movies like The Firm, The Client, The Chamber, A Time to Kill, The Rainmaker. He's had stars like Tom Cruise, Matt Damon, Claire Danes, as well as Sandra Bullock, to name a few, starring in his shows. So, when this new show premieres, he's got his own star, John Slattery, who is the star of Mad Men. And essentially, I'm sure they're really going to have a hit on their hands.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's going to be aired in USA and Peacock.
I love that. And again, we hear Peacock. I mean, I believe that UFC just signed a big deal with Peacock, billions of dollars, where you can now watch the streams. I texted it to you this morning. Might be another good topic for our trend page. And that's a huge deal for UFC, because I don't want to keep shelling out $40 to just see one main event. I would rather pay a smaller subscription fee and see everything.
Yep. Yeah, no, for sure. So, pay attention for that legal TV show, The Rainmaker, coming out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Definitely.
What other final thoughts do we have for folks this week, Zach?
Definitely, I think that sums up a lot of the topics that we have for today. But essentially get out there, announce your wins. Also, if you're looking to get some influencer marketing going, do your research and pair up with people potentially in your region that hit your demographics. Essentially, they're out there, they're producing content, and they're looking to collaborate with different brands out there. And study the digital creators that are creating footprints. I mean, it didn't happen overnight for them, nor will it happen overnight for you. So start to craft content gold based on what you see going on out there, and think seasonality and holidays with back to school. Once again, Mike Moore's law firm hit a home run there. And then, for your viewing pleasure, the legal TV show, The Rainmaker, suggests it's probably going to be can't miss TV.
Absolutely, dude. It's totally going to be can't miss. I mean, again, John Grisham's one of the greatest writers ever, at least in my generation. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Firm Report. Make sure to add Zach, add your boy Pat. Brought to you by Exalt's Marketing Agency, where you are the star and we help you raise the bar. Zach, thank you so much. Happy Monday, everyone. Get out there, make yourself available so that you can get the collaborations that you need. Celebrate your success, and hit up Zach for any questions that you have.
Yep.
See you on the next one. Yes, sir. Thanks, brother.